And we're going to start with the women's as we look at the qualification list. Noah Shirin, Katja Debovitz, Svana Biansen, Zoe Palasidou, Dani Valsamidi, Juliette Martins, Shi Hui Tan and Marie Holmond make up our top 8. And the brackets themselves, well remember it is a straight race and you knock each other out. So we're going to start off with Svana Biansen versus Juliette Martins, and that is their qualifying times on the bottom underneath their names. So here we go, underway for Psico Bloc 2024 in Leonidio, Greece. The athletes will wait for starters' orders, and so do we here on a good starting hold. 1 foot on the bottom, blue volume as you can see, the left foot on the structure of the wall itself, the sea underneath, 16 meters of climbing ahead of them. We wait. The beeps are going. And the athlete's underway. Svana immediately leaping off the blocks as we see the time tick away, and she's about half a body length ahead already. Big moves from Svana, but do keep your eye on Juliette Martins. We saw Svana slightly struggle with endurance during the qualification session the other day, and you can see now Juliette starting to reel her in. This could be anyone's. Svana looking a bit nervous, but a tiny mistake from Juliette has cost her. Svana back with her lead now as she comes up to the first of the pinches. There's an angle change to come here on the walls. We go from very overhanging to just overhanging, and Svana is still ahead. She should take this, and she does. Svana stopping the clock there at 33 seconds on the clock. Great performance from her. She will pull up over the top of the wall. Katja Debovitz versus Shi Hui Tan. Now, big difference in quali times, though, as you can see, 29.63 versus a 44.93. And the smallest of slips sends the athletes down into the water below. So don't look away for a moment. And the athletes underway now, neck and neck as the clock starts ticking. Now Katja starting to pull ahead, as Svana did in the last race. Entering the steep part of the wall now, pinches to come. Good holds, but you've got to be careful, and she's up into the pockets now. Do keep an eye on Shi Hui Tan, though, down at the bottom, who has really slowed the pace. Gets in a heel hook. Surprised she used that as a tactic, and now goes for the campus, but it looks like she's struggling. Katja needs to keep it together, though. Big moves from her as she enters the top of the wall. This is going to be a quick time for her as well, stopping the clock at 30.7. Katja will move forward to face Svana in the next round. And a good race, but Shi Hui Tan beaten there. Slaps the pad, good work from her, but I think a little bit outclassed here this afternoon by that lady, Katja. Okay, next race, Zoe Palasidou versus Dani Valsamidi. And a 41.43 versus a 41.15, so absolutely neck and neck. This could be our closest race of the competition so far. So here we go. Let's see who can take this. Well, both athletes off to a quick start here, absolutely neck and neck as we'd expect. It's so hard to call this competition on this race. Up with the left hand, found the right here. Big moves as we enter the halfway point. Dani maybe slightly ahead at the moment. She comes up with the right hand and a move up, hit the right again. This is going to be so close as we'd expected, but a bit of a pause on the left now. Can she pull it back? She's struggling. I don't think she can, you know, unless she finds some magic in the top half of the wall. Oh, look at the speed here, 35 seconds, stopping the clock as the clock stops at 38.6 versus a 38.8. The time took a while to tick down, and another race done. And hugs at the top of the wall there. It was a close race as expected, and the athletes fist bumping each other there. I think we might see a jump here from Zoe. Oh, we are going to see a jump. Fantastic. Well, our first athlete to brave the ocean. She'll climb down just a little bit before taking this jump, as you would. Maybe a bit of a dangle and a drop. And here she goes, 16 meters from the top of the wall to the ocean. Legs are off. Let's count it down, shall we? The crowd certainly are. Down into the sea with a nice splash, and we'll wait to see the thumbs up. Yes! It's going to be Noah Shirin versus Marie Holmond. 26.37, 49.94. Can Marie step up to the mark here a little bit? Can she find something special here under the Greek sun? Well, the athletes are underway, and Noah Shirin is speeding her way up this wall. Pure power for her, absolute control. Don't make a mistake through here, though. These pockets, not as good as they seem, but she's campusing her way through. Campusing is when you lose your feet and just rely on the arms, and she's done that beautifully. But Marie is behind at this stage, about half a wall behind, 21.5. What a time for Noah Sharan. The silver medalist from Croatia is in it to win it here this afternoon. But let's stick with Marie here as she makes her way through the top of the wall. The crowd getting behind her as well. Has taken the pace off just a little bit, as you'd expect. You don't want to take a fall from up there on the wall. She can feel the ocean pull at her behind. Working hard still, hits the pads, but she will be knocked out of the competition. And Noah Sharan progressing. Let's have a look at the women's next round. The semi-final will come next, as we have Svana taking on Katja in our first race, and then Danai versus Noah in our second race. So next race, Katja Debovits versus Svana Biansen. So Svana in the pink, Katja in the black. Athletes chalking up, remember, blue and white holds for the women. That's the starting hold. Katja's ready, Svana's ready. Here we go, could be anyone's here. Well, it's a quick one as we're underway. Both women absolutely neck and neck at the moment. Katja maybe now starting to pull ahead just ever so slightly, but Svana having to step things up, and she's pulled back that deficit as we enter the midway mark here. Blue and white holds, and it's so hard to call. My eyes are flicking back and forth on the screen, as I'm sure yours are as you watch at home. Katja maybe slightly ahead now, but she paused there for a moment. Could cause her some problems. Katja continues. I think it's going to be Katja's. Yes, Katja takes it. She will move forward into the big finals. Svana will have a place in the small finals. Noah Sharan, Danai Valsamid. You can't see your opponent. It's one of the strange things about this competition until you pull onto the wall itself. Danai skipping her way over, right foot up onto the volume. Noah Sharan on the left. I think Noah the favourite on paper here. What can she do? But it's a quicker start actually from Danai. But now Noah starts to, a little actually mistake down there with her feet. Indecision. A bit of a left-right skip, but now she's about a body length ahead though. You can see perhaps a little bit of fatigue. She's slightly slower, I think, than that first round, but now starting to pick up the pace as Danai slips down the wall further and further. Noah Sharan will take this pretty easily and move to face Katja into the finals. Danai will be up against Svana, and she finishes things off, and at this stage you want to keep that energy. There's no point powering your way through to the top of the wall, burning yourself out. There's another race to come. So nice and smooth through the top sequence. Next race, the small finals for the women. Danai Valsamidi versus Svana Bianesen. Remember, bronze medal on the line here, third place, a podium spot. Svana on the right, Danai on the left-hand side of your screen. The audience wait, we wait. Here come the beeps. Okay, it's actually a faster start from Danai there, but Svana now starts to spring her way up here. Up to the white holds, makes a little skip of the blue here as she finds the better holds. Danai in touch though. Danai now takes a brief pause before that power move up into the pockets for both women here. Svana slightly ahead at the moment. Danai fighting her all the way here up to the blue and white holds on the edge. Some crimps to come here as we find some pinches. Danai still in the fight. Svana struggling a bit with endurance here. It's a really tight race. Look at this one, 30 seconds, 31 versus 31.9. So close, right until the very end. What a performance from both women here. Svana with a deep breath, as she would, because she takes the bronze in third place, but only just. Are we going to see a jump? Come on, yes, we are going to see a jump. Danai will go first. She drops down. Svana peering over the top. Will she be persuaded via peer pressure to go? I hope so. Danai has a look down at the ocean. She drops a couple of holds down, preparing herself. And this moment, your heart will be beating. The drop comes, plunging into the ocean below. Awesome stuff. Svana, I don't think she'll take the fall, but Danai will go and swim her way back to the edge. Let's have another look at the names. Noah Sharan will be on the left-hand side. Katja Debovits on the right-hand side. Noah Sharan versus Katja Debovits. Athletes in position. The MC is urging the crowd to get behind the athletes. They don't need any encouraging. And we're underway. Katja Debovits maybe didn't hear the buzzers. She's going to have to pull something back here. This is drama earlier on here in this competition. Noah Sharan, though, is ahead at the moment. Can she find that pace and continue it? I was worried about the jump, but she made it look okay. Katja hits the right hand, left hand. Noah Sharan is faster at the moment. Can Katja find something? Will Noah make a mistake? No, Noah Sharan takes victory here. She is your winner tonight. Katja, a silver medal for her. She fought hard all the way through this competition. You can hear the ah from her mouth. Okay, they're being told they can jump. They've got the all clear. Are we going to hear a countdown? Okay, the feet are going off. Noah wants to go from the very top, doesn't she? She starts to hang. Katja, Noah goes first, down into the ocean from the full 16 meters. And look at that. The pace the athletes pick up in the air, incredible. So we'll have a look at the men's qualification list in a moment, and here they are. Remember, 8 athletes progressed in this open competition, and again, some big names in here. Jörg Verhoeven, for example, what a legend he is of the comp scene. Retired from the World Cups a while ago, but back in action here. And Quinn O'Francia. Now, a lot of people have been talking about that young man. They have him down for the win here this afternoon, but of course, with that comes pressure. And can Quinn deal with it? We'll have to wait and see and find out. And we're going to go on to our first race here. Manthos vs Mikhail as the men approach. Mikhail on the right-hand side, Manthos on the left-hand side. Manthos Valsamidis, one of the brothers that I was talking about earlier on, part of 3 siblings in tonight's final. So here we go. The men get themselves set. The crowd start to scream as we prepare ourselves for the first runs. And they're underway. It was a bit of a hesitation from Manthos on the left. Not sure quite what happened, but the men both taking a while to get started here. Manthos now just going for the campus, and that move does actually put him ahead of Mikhail. Mikhail was a bit slow through the bottom section, but now he picks up the pace. This race going back and forth as the clock ticks down. We near 20 seconds. Manthos, though, is ahead now by half a body length, and he will stop the clock. Mikhail knocked out. Manthos moves forward to the next round. Quinn O'Francia versus Matt Zabera as the athletes get ready. So Quinn with a time of 16 seconds versus Matt with a time of 45. A moment to compose yourself. A private second amongst all this public scrutiny. And here we go, we're underway. And look at that from Quinn. Absolutely effortless on the wall. It's incredible, such flow. Pauses a little bit before this next sequence. Hits the campus, and remember the men just using the blue holds, not the blue and white like the women's were. So you can see feet and hands on the blue, and what a victory from Quinn. That is a statement, I tell you, from Quinn O'Francia as he moves forward to face Manthos in the next round. Matt Zaba a bit outclassed here, you've got to say. Strong performance from him. Hat on, sunnies on as well. Loving the man's style. He needs to get a couple of seconds knocked off for style points, frankly. Hits the pad, but that race firmly belongs to Mr. Quinn O'Francia. Jörg Verhoeven versus Yasanas. Fair play, Jörg, but you've made it through into the finals here. Quarterfinals first of all, semi-finals and finals to come. So Jörg on the left, Yasanas on the right-hand side, and Jörg and Yasanas is underway. Different style again at the bottom, but Jörg at the moment is ahead. Yasanas with a foot slip there, that was problematic, and a second one. Some nerves showing there, and Jörg a bit more slow and steady. Yasanas is wild on the right-hand side, but it might be paying off here. Is he tired though? Cutting loose. Jörg, I think, is going to pull on all that experience from World Cups. It looks like he's out in front now. He controlled a little bit of the nerves that must have come through, and Yasanas is just slipping all over the place here. I can't believe he didn't fall off. Samo has kept it together, and what a race that was. But Jörg will progress. Yes, okay, so here we go. He drops back down 16 meters for the top of that wall down to the sea. Wants a high five for social media, I think. This is the best part of any race, it really is. The crowd are waiting. There's the drop. Into the sea he goes. Joe Goodacre versus Iraklis Pakos. 47.77 versus a 15.81. Again, a big difference here. And I think Joe and Quinn are on a certain collision course towards the finals, perhaps, if you're a betting person. So, here we go. Underway. And Joe, look at that style from Joe again on the left-hand side. He's going to run away with this, but careful not to fall, Joe. Iraklis, meanwhile, is a bit more slow and steady down on the bottom right. Joe is going to take this round about 15 seconds, 13.8 on the clock, as Joe stops the time, as we'd expect from those times, but a good fight from Iraklis as he powers his way through towards the top, hits the starting pad, climbs his way up onto the top of the wall. Well, let's have a look at the men's bracket, shall we? In the semi-final round. And there we go. Quinn O'Francia up against one of the brothers, Sanasis, who will be fighting for a small final and final place, and then Jörg Verhoeven, Joe Goodacre for the second semi-final. Okay, Manthos up against Quinn. A little shake of his head, hyping himself up, pumping himself for this moment. So the athletes get into their position. We're used to it by now. Remember, just the blue holds. And we're underway, and have a look at Quinn as he launches upwards. This is the sequence he has so down, but Manthos is coming back at him now, and Quinn slowing a little bit here, and that was more awkward from Quinn, perhaps feeling some of that fatigue. Manthos coming back at him. Look at this from Manthos, about half a body length behind here. Quinn needed to pick up the pace, and he did eventually, but wow. Quinn will move forward, but fair play to Manthos there, who fought him all the way through that competition. Hopefully we'll see more of this kind of climbing in the future. So Joe Goodacre on the left, Jörg Verhoeven on the right-hand side of your screen. You can just see puffs of chalk fly from the wall from Joe. And if Joe can make this through, he'll be facing up his fellow American in the finals, and both of them have such a similar, exciting style. But Jörg, can he do it once more? Jörg a little bit slow off the starting blocks there. And Joe, look at this from Joe. Unbelievable stuff. We saw Quinn maybe take some pace off. Joe seems to have added some speed here. Unbelievable, miles ahead, around about 13.3 seconds, and that is the fastest time of the day from Joe. Incredible stuff. He will join Quinn in the finals, and I think Jörg, it was a bit slow to start off with, and I think he might have said, you know what, I'm going to compete for a bronze medal here. Different styles from both athletes, but Jörg will move forward and Joe will wait for him at the top of the wall. This incredible shot that I'm in love with at the top. Okay, you know what time it is then. Small final for the men first of all. Jörg Verhoeven versus Manthos Valsamidis. All eyes turn towards this enormous structure in the centre of the harbour. These two gladiators will face off. So here we go. Jörg on the left, Manthos on the right. We're underway. And it's quick from Manthos early on in this race. Jörg needs to find some pace here. Manthos hits the campers. Will he fall though? Keeps those feet back on now. Manthos about a body length ahead here. Jörg needs to find something in the top half of this wall. Manthos slowing ever so slightly, still campersing as he crushes his way through. Manthos takes third place. Jörg Verhoeven will end up in fourth. And the crowd appreciating what they just saw there. Manthos with a little bit of a smile down at Jörg Verhoeven as he stops the clock. Okay, big final time for the men, and I can't wait for this one. Quinn O'Francia versus Joe Goodacre. Joe on the left, Quinn on the right, our final race. Be screaming at your TV screens because we are underway, absolutely neck and neck. But look at this from Joe. Oh, but a big slip from Joe. Now Quinn can pull things back, but Quinn also had a bit of a wild moment here. Joe slowed things down a little bit, but he's ahead at the moment. Will Joe take this? Yes, he does. And I think that is the fastest time of the whole competition, 12.4. He looks down at his hand. There was a moment at the bottom where I thought Joe was gone. I thought he was down into the sea below, but he managed to save himself. Oh, they're going to jump from the very top of the structure. And in fact, oh look, who's come? Manthos is out as well. He wants to go. So we're going to have a triple jump. Why not? Right, so they're going to stand. Manthos is pretty keen. They're going to avoid hitting each other, but a triple jump to finish off our Psico Bloc comp here in Leonidio. Having counted down by the MC. Are they ready? Yes, we are. Here we go. The triple jump splashes to the floor as the athletes hit the water at the same time, and a nod of approval from one of our audience members there. Noah, first of all, congratulations on that gold medal. You upgraded the silver to a gold. Tell me about how you're feeling right now.
Thank you so much. It was amazing feeling. I really enjoyed the atmosphere. It makes you feel so nervous, but at the same time, you have to climb so relaxed to be able to go really fast. So I really enjoy this kind of pressure.
It's amazing. You say you're nervous, you look so calm and relaxed, and we could see that when you're out on the wall. You had such flow going through the route. Did it all go to plan, or did you have some shaky moments along the way?
I had a few shaky moments, but overall I practiced it before, which is different than like other competitions. So I just knew that I have to do what I already know what to do. Like I just need to climb like in practice.
Well, it was amazing watching you enjoy that gold medal. Congratulations,
So
and
much.
hopefully see you in the next series.
Thank you so much.
Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, we've got to talk about that last race because there was a moment where you nearly fell off down at the bottom. What was going on there?
You know as well as I do. My mind went blank and I was just going, and then my foot slipped a little bit and I almost fell off the wall. But I just held on as hard as I could and just kept on going.
It was an incredible race up against your opponent, Quinn, who was equally as fast as you were. Both of you were similar kind of style. What were you thinking before you begun that first race?
Well, the very first one or the one against Quinn?
The one against Quinn, because obviously such similar styles, you know each other quite well. Were there any gamesmanship? Were you trying to sort of put him off a little bit?
Oh, no, I mean, we were having fun. We're both going to jump off at the end no matter what. He's a great friend of mine, and we're just let's put on a show.
And tell me about that triple jump at the top, the three of you launching your way into the ocean. What a great way to finish the comp.
Yeah, that was super awesome. I love that the third guy came up there. I didn't know he was going to come back up and just made it even better. And you guys counted us off, and so I was like, well, guess I got to go.
Well, look, Joe, incredible watching you climb. As always, enjoy that victory. Well done.
Thank you so much.
I think that's goodbye from me. We'll show you some cool replays of all the action we watched earlier on.